Does your house smell like your fireplace? Um, a lot of homes have different types of odors. We have a lot of videos on different types of odors, but today we're going to primarily talk about, when you walk in a house and it smells like a fireplace or smells like soot. Sometimes it could smell like wildlife or urine, possibly if, animals got into your fireplace. So we're going to go to a video that I did a little bit ago. And let's just talk a little bit about this video. We're going to play this video and kind of stop it, and I'll make some explanations. First of all, right off the bat, if you see soot stains in front of a fireplace, you know you have an issue. A lot of times when you have these types of issues, you also have dust problems throughout the house. So let's get into this.
Does your living room smell like a fireplace, or does your fireplace have black stains on the front? Well, it may not necessarily be a closed damper or a chimney that's too short, or eddy currents because your trees are too tall over your house. Or
Okay, so sometimes people jump the gun, okay, and they call up a chimney guy, and then they build this chimney and make it bigger, thinking, that's the problem. You got to look at the whole big picture first. And sometimes it's a tree too. 20 years ago, the tree was small. Now the tree's big. And those big trees, they cause eddy currents up in your roof, and that can cause these downdraft problems. Okay, so look at that. Plus, you saw the flue. That's a no-brainer. Make sure the flue's open. And when you're not using it, you might want to close the flue. However, you can't close the flue. When the fire is dying, you have to wait till it completely, it gets cold. During that time, the flue is still open. So let's keep going with this.
or even blockage from, let's say, squirrels, animals, leaves, or let's say a failure of the fireplace flue liner. Most of the time, it has nothing to do with that. Most of the time, it's because your heating system isn't balanced.
So we're going to talk a little bit about heating systems. People never think outside the box. So what you're looking at here is ductwork in your basement. That's where we're going to be looking, because that odor upstairs could be manifesting from from your cold air returns. If they're not sealed in the basement, or there's registers in them, they will suck your basement, and that causes negative pressure. And when you've got negative pressure, a lot of other problems happen. You could have ice dams. We have videos on that. You could have moisture problems and condensation. We have videos on that. Or you could have this odor of fire, smoke, soot stains, soot types of odor in your home.
If your heating system ductwork sucks in the basement, in other words, you have duct leakage where ducts.
Put a loo door there. That's just gonna make.
Well, what's happening is the door is closed, so this room is sucking air. All right.
Are sealed, or let's say you have a cold air return register in the basement, then if you've got negative pressure in the basement, you may also have negative pressure or positive pressure on the upper floors.
Okay, so let's think about that. We used to have a house full of kids. They're all gone. Now we close their doors. Big mistake, especially if your heating system isn't balanced. A lot of these older homes don't even have cold air returns in all the rooms. Here you can see where the people tape up the downstairs basement duct thinking they're saving money. They're not. They're not. Your heating system has to heat and cool the entire house. You can't be blocking things off. And another thing is, if you close 3 rooms and you don't have cold air returns in them, what do you think is going to happen? Those rooms are going to blow up like a balloon, and then the hallway is going to suck like a straw, and it's going to suck air down your chimney, okay? So just by opening the doors can change things around. So you want to keep the doors open.
What you can do is turn on your furnace, sit at the top of the steps, and feel the bottom of the door. And if you feel air getting sucked or blowing in and underneath that door, then you know that you have an unbalanced system. Well, let's go back up to the fireplace. In the living room or dining room or family room or wherever it's at, that room may very well be under negative pressure.
Okay, what you're looking at here is kind of really cool test. You could do this yourself. You don't got to hire somebody with a blower door, or any of these fancy balancing equipment. You could take a piece of toilet paper, go to the bottom of your steps, close the door, and sit there, wet your hand, and put it at the bottom of the door. And if it feels cold or the toilet's flapping, you got negative pressure. There's a problem. And then take a piece of like notebook paper and go to all the cold air returns and see if it sticks while your furnace is going on. And that'll tell you if it's not sticking, then it's not working. And I've seen homes that had so much negative air leakage in the basement that they don't even work in the bedrooms, and they might only work in the dining room. And so you want these cold air returns to properly function. And if you don't have cold air returns in bedrooms, then you got to at least keep the doors open or cut the doors. Or you could put passive vents above the doors, or put louvers in the doors, or buy louver doors.
Supply ducts might be blocked by
See here, look at this couch. This is a house where this house had problems, okay? And in one of the rooms, they had the cold air return being blocked by furniture. And another time I seen it where they put carpets down and covered it. Man, that screws up the whole house. And then all of a sudden they got a dust problem, because then when they're sleeping at night, the fire goes down, and all of a sudden the air starts sucking down the chimney, and all that ash from the fireplace you burned the night before ends up in the ductwork and all over the floor, and you can't figure out where the dust is coming from. So check the cold air returns.
furniture, or they may be closed, or the returns might be wide open, or the returns, there's too many of them. So what ends up happening is that room becomes depressurized, or it sucks. So the fireplace flue ends up being a return from the outside, so air goes down from the roof into that room, and that can cause dirt and dust throughout the house. It can cause staining, and of course it causes that fireplace wood odor. You need to find out if you have problems with balance. You want to make sure that you have positive pressure in that room with the fireplace. You can do this by trial and error, or you can contact an HVAC contractor to evaluate, or you could hire one of those energy auditors that have blower doors.
Coincidentally, there are companies that can do this for you. If you're in the Cleveland market, you can call me, and I do these stuff locally. I also have a world service where you just Google "call Marko with a question," and if for a small fee, we generally solve like 98% of all house problems within like a 15-minute to half an hour period. Sometimes I'll ask you to send me some data, mostly photos, or sometimes we can Skype it, or you could send me a movie. But we can usually solve most of your problems, especially if you're dealing with a waterproofing dilemma where someone wants to charge you 20 grand and you want a second opinion, or you've got odors, or you're getting shocked in your house, or there's some type of bug, or noises. But anyways, we do provide that service. These are more technical piece of equipment you see here that we use for balancing. Most of the time you could wing it and get it half right without spending all the money and make it okay for just doing it yourself.
And at that point, you could make repairs, and maybe the wood fireplace smoke might go away.
Okay, so basically what happens is, let me see if I can switch this to this book here and just show you, and we'll do one more last thing, and we'll try to conclude this. And let's close that out. And so let's try this here. Let's go to the... Okay, so I got my camera here on this book, and let's just see. So we've kind of talked about this is what a flue looks like, all right, and this is your chimney right here, and this is what happens is this room if this has negative pressure because you've got closed doors and you've got an unbalanced system, then all this ash that's sitting here will go into your home. Okay, you really want your ash down here in an ash pit, right? And then up top is your chimney, and if there's trees blocking it, you've got eddy currents. If there's a nest in here, that's a problem. Sometimes right inside here is wildlife will live in here in the summertime, and it'll be urine. So you can also get urine odor and wildlife odor, okay? Obviously, when you start a fire, they're going to be gone, right? You may even cook them. But so you want a chimney cap and screen. You want to trim your trees and make sure you don't have issues. You want to go to your basement, seal your cold air returns, open your supply registers. You want to keep doors open. Okay. You also maybe consider keeping the door open to the basement or change it to a louver door or put a vent in the door or cut the bottom of the door. So the odor in your house from your fireplace, whether it's animal, urine, or smoke, is generally caused by negative pressure because it's sucking the chimney, and all that creosote that's built up in your chimney flue is the odor that you smell. So, hey, thanks for coming on. We have some links below. Okay, and please rate and subscribe.